Hi everyone, this is Ayandi, aka Dr.ATM, and welcome to West Side. Now, if you have no idea what that is about, go ahead and check out my latest recording so you could have some idea how this whole idea of the name and everything came about. And if you like what you hear, go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe, the notifications button as well, so you're notified whenever I post new stuff. All right, so this is a story time edition, pretty much starting from scratch. That's the topic I'm gonna use, starting from scratch. And I have my glass of wine, so forgive me in advance if I take a sip every now and again when I get thirsty. Yeah, so let's jump right in. So pretty much I'm gonna go all the way back to 2012, and this was a very special year for me because my life started, literally. The year 2012 was when I gave birth to my beautiful leap year baby girl. And a lot of you already know that because I was actually featured on the Florida Channel 7 News or 10. I will post the link below so you can go back down memory lane with me. Very special baby girl, only, birthday every 4 years. Very special, and you'll see the stats also when you actually view the video of that clip on the news. Yeah, so this year it was very important. I realized that every decision I made going forward would actually affect my daughter, so it was no longer about me. It was about her. I had to put her before me. All right. And I was actually really also ready to prove people wrong because everybody said, oh, you wanted to do this, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So I really wanted to prove them wrong. So the minute I gave birth, I was ready. Anyways, I was in the US at the time and I was away from my family. It's hard when you don't have that support, and I just realized that I would have to go too far back if I stayed in the US. So I decided I was actually going to go back home because I don't have any time going all the way back, starting over from scratch, getting a job, going back to school and all that. It was a transition, and I knew I'd have to go back to go forward pretty much. So in Jamaica, I already had a degree, so it would have been easier for me to perhaps get a job. And and I had family there. My mom was there, my sister, I had my friends. So I had that support there as well. So home, Jamaica was actually my comfort zone. So of course, it's home, you gotta be happy. So I was happy to go back. Anyways, when I went back home, so that whole aim that I have to actually, get back on my foot like this, it didn't happen. It took a while. Job applications, I sent them out on a daily basis. As soon as a job was posted, I was already on top of it. But for some reason, I don't know what happened. The interviews weren't really coming. Maybe these persons within that job, they already had their person in mind. I don't know. But yeah, so 1 month passed, no job. 2 months passed, no job. 3 months, I was already really frustrated, and I made a deal with God. I pretty much said, if I don't get a job within 1 month time frame, then he's basically showing me that I need to probably go back to the US, which is not what I wanted to do, obviously. But anyways, I waited, applied some jobs, seemed like something was working out. It didn't, so God won. And there I was on the plane heading back with my child. And usually when people are on planes, they're happy because they're going somewhere different, probably to have fun. But for me, I was so frustrated. I was unhappy on that flight because I was going to start life, and I knew it would be rough starting all over, especially with a child, especially where you don't have your family around. So I was really worried. I was anxious. I did a lot of thinking, but I just figured, if it's not happening in Jamaica, I've waited, I've tried, I've done all that I could have done, and I just needed to move forward. So yeah, reached the US, which was another huge transition because my weather in Jamaica, The sunshine, yeah, I probably used to complain then because it was really hot at times. But trust me, when I hit down on the US, it was freezing cold. It was the middle of winter. Luckily, it wasn't snowing where I was or anything like that, but still, it was cold. So imagine you're not sure where your life is going. You don't have no job yet. You're going somewhere new. You're pretty much starting over. The place cold, and it's just like, yeah, it just made matters worse. Yep, and it took me some time as well to actually settle in the US. So all this time, my patience was being tested. I waited in Jamaica, waited a little bit after I gave birth to my daughter, came to the US, had to wait again. So it's like a whole year of waiting. And I am very impatient. And when I want something, yeah. So I was very frustrated at this point, very sad. And I would say I was probably even depressed. With each day that passed, I felt somehow like the wall was just closing in on me. Worse, my daughter never slept at nights for whatever reason. So I was up all night with her. She used to cry like right through the night. So, with all of that, and you don't know where your life is going, of course, you're going to be a little bit depressed. So I was. Anyways, after the 3 months passed, I pretty much decided that, listen, even though I have to be waiting until the whole process, for job and all of that, I feel like being in an environment where the weather is similar, like I hate the cold. So I decided that I needed to be in the sunshine state because somehow it would feel a little bit more or like home. So I left the cold area and I went to Florida. Yep, and another season in my life pretty much started. So in Florida, picked up a few customer service jobs here and there, and trust me, when I say a few, like I started one and just didn't like the environment, or started it and I just left and jumped into another one. Like for me, once I saw something better, I went towards it. So I can't do anything before or after, like I'm gonna be burnt out. So yeah, when I started a job and I found another one with a better or flexible schedule, I was gone. Like I was trying to go forward. If you're stopping me, then I'm gone to something else that allows me to go forward. That's just me. So yeah. So finally, I decided to go to the closest pharmacy school near me. Yeah, I was gonna go ahead and pursue my goal, my dream, since I was 14 years old, to become a pharmacist. So I got my transcripts and everything, went to the school. Pretty much some disturbing news. I found out that the bachelor's degree that I pretty much, shed blood, tears, sweat, had several all-nighters for, it pretty much wasn't really recognized here. Like, how is that even possible? But yeah, this was a very hard pill to swallow. And I found out that I'd actually have to redo my entire 3-year degree here. So what I did in Jamaica, I'd have to do the same thing here, same bachelor's, and then apply to pharmacy school. Wow. When I thought about it, like all my classmates, while I was doing my bachelor's, all of them in Jamaica were happy. They were moving on with their lives, some doing their masters, some going back to med school. And here I am hearing this news up here that my degree is not valid, or it's not really recognized. I cried on my way home, driving, tears just flowing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? It's all right. I decided that I was actually going to go to another school because unlike Jamaica only has about like 2 main universities. This is America. So I know one school there. So I decided to go to another university that was 45 minutes away. So I went there. The advisor basically told me that I was close to the 10-year mark from when I did my prerequisites in Jamaica. Basically, they don't exist. So you need to redo them. And I actually went to this school in the middle of the school year, so I wouldn't be able to apply until the next year. So that next year would be the exact 10-year mark. Call me bad lucky, so like seriously. So yeah, I was like, okay, I gotta go back to the drawing board. So I decided I was gonna do a master's, because the master's, you wouldn't really, I could somehow use the credits from a bachelor's degree. I don't know why. I don't understand that whole thing. But yeah, I would be able to do a master's, but I wouldn't be able to use the bachelor's I already had from Jamaica to do my doctorate. Anyways, so went to the school, applied, got through. And basically, they were saying the only thing that I needed to do to really seal the deal was to achieve a minimum score of 300 in the GRE. Now, GRE is a graduate exam. Pretty much it's not anything you can study for. You just have to have that stamina to stay awake throughout the whole exam. So I decided that I was just gonna jump into it and just, get a feel of it. First exam, $200 later, I did it. I got a score of 250. All right, so I set the next exam. I did it. $200 later, and I got a score of 295. Like, really? Like, you couldn't just give me the 5 marks? Like, really? Couldn't finish. The second exam, I didn't finish, but I actually got further than I did in the first exam. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go hard on the next one. Third exam, I'll just give you a minute to guess how much I got. Third exam, $200 later, 297. Of course, I never got to do the master's. And at this point, I really did not know what to do. And I decided I was not going to pay anymore. That's scam, there's no way. So I went back to the pharmacy school the first one. By this time, there was a different advisor there. And I was like, oh my gosh, please God, let her say that the previous one was wrong. She told me the same thing. She said, I pretty much have to do over my prerequisites. And the only good thing that came out of this was that she said when I do over my prerequisites, I should do them at a community college because it's way cheaper than doing it at a university. So I appreciated that advice because, apparently I'm just gonna have to do them over anyway. So might as well just guide me on how to actually, or the right way to do it over. So I appreciated that, even though I really didn't want to hear that, but hey. Anyways, so I took her advice, went to a community college. I applied, they accepted my application. Then I went down to the financial aid office. Yeah. I was told that my bachelor's degree would not allow me to get a grant. So basically, if you have a degree, it doesn't matter where, it could be in the US or outside of the US, you couldn't get a grant. So the universities, the pharmacy schools are telling me, okay, they don't recognize my bachelor's degree, or it's not really valid. To make it valid, I'd have to do additional stuff here. And then now I go to the community college and they're saying, you have a degree, we can't give you a grant. How unfair. So I said that, okay, tell me about like a personal loan then. Personal loan. I was told that to get a personal loan, you need to have credits. Now remember, I just land. Like, yeah, girl never have no credit them time then. So, and when you get to America, nobody gives you like a one-on-one on what you need to know. So you either learn the hard way or you learn from somebody else's mistake if they plan to share it with you, because half the time people have it rough and they don't want to help you to not have it rough. So unfortunately. But yeah, so you know what I did? I will tell you, but I waited a couple of weeks and yeah, let's just leave it at that. At this time, I mean, at least I was going somewhere, but it's not like I was happy. I had to start over. Yeah, that's not something that I took, lightly. I was really unhappy about that, because the only good thing is that, these courses were super easy for me. Like, anybody who studied in Jamaica, that they set the exams up for you to fail. So you already know the tricks and the trades. So I was getting straight A's, 4.0 GPA, president's list, working full-time mom. Hated my job because every day I go in, I'm like, I studied too hard. Like, why do I have to do this? But the only thing is that job allowed me the flexibility I needed, but I hated it. It was a rough job. It was like a warehouse, and yeah, it was rough. You pretty much opened up boxes, sometimes 10,000, 13,000 boxes, take out, blood, like specimens, and pretty much inspect them, scan them, and press enter all day. Like, yeah, I was like, okay, this, but I had to hold it out because it was helping me to get my courses done, and like I said, flexibility, which going by and getting on with these courses and whatnot. One fine evening, I went to pretty much upload my final assignment to get my final grade for the semester. Logged in, all I saw was my name, like every course gone. So yeah, I would have to fork out about $3,000 to pretty much get back the courses. So yeah, I was like, wow. Since I knew I needed credit, because they told me the last time, I said, all right. So I worked on my credit, and this time they said, all right, cool. We can't give you a loan. Trust me, we'll catch up on you. Yeah. So mine caught up on me, and yeah, I had to go ahead and pay for it, literally. This job, like I said, it was a rough job. I remember, I felt like I was being picked on at some point. I remember a time I was there, and the supervisor at the time, she pretty much said, I should go empty the trash. No, this trash had in the plastic that had in the blood work and stuff, which was kind of fine, I guess. But then, like I said, I was thinking about, okay, imagine I leave my good Jamaica, have my degree, and compare empty trash. I was wondering why she was asking me to do it when a lot of men were there already, and usually they do it. And right now you're asking me, and they're sitting down in AC, well relaxed. So I thought I was being picked on. Anyways, and sometimes I feel like people expect a reaction out of you. So when they're able to tell or kind of assume, how you're going to act, because she expected me to retaliate. And because she expected that, I didn't do it. Because sometimes you don't want people to study you. It's a Jamaican little thing we always say, don't make people study you, So yeah. So, that day driving home, I was like, you know what? This lady dissed me, and I'm just not going back, So yeah, so I went home the evening, and I was working on a speech. It was actually something I was supposed to present on, and it was a speech done by this professor known as Randy Posh. You guys should look it up because it's really good, and it's called The Last Speech. And he actually was diagnosed with cancer before he did that speech. So he was doing his last lecture. Of course, the speech did long and boring. I'm tired because I just left work and put my daughter to bed and everything, and I'm falling asleep in the middle of the speech. The gold is at the bottom of the crap. Don't fail. The gold is at the bottom of the crap. And I jumped up because I was like, somehow, what I went through that day with the whole trash taking out and all that, I just really could relate to that. I went back to work. And again, she asked me to take out the trash. But this time, I just hold my head up and go take it out. Because she really was trying to poke me. She really was trying to get on my last nerve. And I wasn't going to allow her. So this went on and on, by the way. Until one morning, this was the morning that pretty much was a turning point, a complete 360 degrees of my whole journey. November 3, 2015. So I got up, dropped my daughter off to school, and I was on my way to work. So I got to work, went in, run out the air with the boxes again, and I started to do my work. So I was there working for a good maybe 30 minutes or so, opening boxes, and I just hear boof in a couple seconds. And before I could actually turn around to see what was going on, me reached on the ground, just drop on the ground, literally. I could not break my fall. Like I couldn't hold on to anything. I literally fell back way and I landed on my head. And I don't know if I was unconscious for a few seconds, but all I know is I was in complete shock. Like I couldn't move. Like my whole body was just numb. I was like telling my hands to move and they just wouldn't move. Like I was numb completely. I know my face was being attacked. So I hear the noise, drop on my head, and my face is being attacked. I don't know who my attacker is because I don't know. At that point, I don't know what happened. Like I was completely numb. I froze, and all I know is I didn't see my attacker until somebody grabbed the person, away from me. And for me, it was a traumatic experience, And not only that, but I don't walk around and trouble people. I usually stay to myself. And yeah, it was just one of those moments like, okay, I didn't have any confrontation with anybody. I don't have any enemies that I know of in there, because even the supervisor, even though I felt like she was picking on me for some reason. I think she liked me. I didn't have any enemies that I knew of. So, I was just shocked, and it just never made any sense at all. Yep. And that evening, I couldn't figure it out. I was just confused. It just never made sense. Even the police that got involved, they said, boy, I don't know what happened, because all I know is everybody was working, and it's like this person just went crazy, snapped, and you were in the way, and the only bad thing you did was come to work and stand right there. So I went home. I just laid in my bed and I was just looking in space. And I was like, some bad luck or something following me around, or because I don't understand. I must jinx or something, because I come up here, I can't go forward in my life. I finally get to go forward a little bit, and this happened. No, God, you need to show yourself, God, because me pray so hard, me don't trouble people, me do my own thing, I focus, I'm a good mom, I don't understand, because right now, since I've been here, the devil seems to be winning. Every time I try to turn, somewhere, doing this whole job thing and doing the courses, me come get licked down. I'm not do anything. So I don't understand. Clearly the devil is winning. So God, you need to show yourself and understand. And I went down on my knees the night and I prayed and I bawled. After I was attacked, I had an exam. I me do my exam because I already had a loan over my head. So might as well just do my exam. So I have the loan, so I just will. So by the time I got to the end of the exam, the number 40 question, after I bubbled it in, I felt something deep within me saying I need to go back to the pharmacy school. I was like, you know what, listen, I don't have time for that right now. I already know what they're gonna say. I've been there several times. I've heard it all. I need to start over. So what I am going to do is to go to the advisor for the community college and go try register for some more course and see if I can go to the next loan and go do the courses. But you know what? To kind of quiet the voice, I actually had my partner at the time set up an appointment with the school. Anyways, so I went to the advisor at the community college. No, this lady, she looked through my papers over and over and over, put them together, and she looked straight at me with red eyes. I don't know if she was frustrated because she was going through so many of my transcripts, but her eyes were fiery red, and she said to me, go back to the pharmacy school. I'm not signing you up for any more courses. Go back and fight. Though, I don't know, I felt something when she, her eyes red, and so I just took up my stuff and I was out of there. I was back at the first pharmacy school. When I went there, there was another advisor. So imagine, I go there so many times. I am there to see at least 3 advisors pass through. This new advisor, Gave him the same thing I gave everybody. Only thing is, I had the transcripts from my community college now. So by this time I was like 1.5 way through. All right, so gave him everything. He looked through just like the lady, and he was like, so why haven't you applied? So I was like, this man crazy. What did you say? I'm sorry? Yeah, why haven't you applied? Listen, don't do any more courses. Go home and apply tonight. So listen, in this life, when you hear so many no's and you finally hear a yes, it's like, no, don't do any more courses. Go home and apply tonight. Wow. I went home the very same night I applied. I never even wait. I applied and I did the interview and I got accepted, and about 2,000 persons applied and I was one of them who got in. Man, trust me, like the day I got my acceptance letter, I drove all the way to the community college to see the lady, the advisor. And, I showed her the letter and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because, or even I wouldn't have gone there in the first place. So, she had a lot to do with it. And the lady was completely different. She was like so calm. It was almost as though it wasn't the same person. It was almost as though maybe it was somebody else that spoke through her to me to tell me to go back to the pharmacy school, because this personality was a completely different person. Yeah, I thanked her and pretty much I was ready to be on my way. I just couldn't believe it, because I've heard so many no's over and over and over, and then I just felt like my life was that was just it. Everything bad was happening, a lot of bad news, and it was just almost as if I wasn't to pursue this dream. And I felt like giving up. I wouldn't say I would do it all over again. I don't know. I suffered a whole lot. After my incident too, I had to do therapy because I had PTSD. Very nervous if somebody would walk behind me in Walmart, fearing that I was gonna get attacked again, because you never know. You didn't have any confrontations with anybody. You're not thinking that will happen. You always have it in the back of your mind, always. I went through it. So this was like one of the best moments to actually get that letter. I just want to say the moral of the story, a lot of lessons from this entire experience, but don't ever stop. Keep chasing your dream no matter what, no matter how many no's you hear, no matter how many blocks you get. If your door A block, go to your door B. If door B block, go to door C. Just keep going, keep pushing, keep knocking on the door. Don't try to take shortcuts. And sometimes in life, you'll actually have life events. I consider my incident, being attacked as a life event, where you feel like all hell has, broken loose, or the worst thing that could happen has happened. They come at a time when they're needed, when you need to be redirected into your path. So they're necessary. The darkest hour is always before dawn. Everything is going wrong. There's no light in anything. Just know you're being redirected. So just don't get distracted by that. Just keep going. And you'll put people in place for you. The advisor, the last advisor that told me to go home and apply the same night, the month I got in, or the month I got my acceptance letter, was his last month there. He actually got promoted to a huge job. I feel like he was just there for me. I got in, he left. So God sends his angels. He puts people in place for you. Another thing, don't question your blessing, because you're so used to hearing no. So when something actually working out, you start to question it. No, you deserve it. You are worth it, and just accept it. It's your blessing. And very important again, do not compare yourself to anybody, nobody at all. Our journeys are all different. Some people might be lucky. Some people probably want to go to school, they apply, they get in, they don't have any drama, they don't have to deal with any no's. So, our journeys are all different, and we all have a journey. Another thing, having a child does not stop your goals. It actually pushes you. Next thing, don't listen to people. I call them naysayers. Trust me, people are gonna say what they want to say. Whatever goal that you have, that God has placed in your heart, it's not their goal. So maybe they wouldn't be able to do it, but you can do it, So block them out. Another thing, don't stress over closed doors. Just see it as a redirection, and wherever you're redirected to, just know that that position is actually grooming you for your next level. Well, that is it for my story. I hope I inspired somebody today. And this might not be about school. I mean, it could apply to anything. It could apply to you getting a house, business, whatever. Like the same thing applies. You probably hear it on the nose, but just keep going. And the moral of the story still applies, whatever the goal is. All right, so go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't done so already, notification, and subscribe. All right, and stay tuned for many, many more videos. I'm gonna change it up a bit, do a little fun stuff, have some people speak later on. But yeah, we're gonna mix it up and we're gonna be balanced, because it's so important to have a balance in life. And yeah, so this is Ayandi, aka Dr. ATM, signing off. Love you guys. Bye-bye.